respected young brothers, my elders, my young brothers, everyone's wish is I become close to Allah. Everyone, this is the wish of everyone, that I should become very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no doubt in this. Even a person who never comes to the masjid, even his desire will be that I want to become close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I don't want Allah to become angry with me, furious with me. Everybody wants to be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Junaid Baghdadi rahmatullah alayhi used to say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has closed all the ways which may lead one to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except one. There is one footway which will take one to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is ittiba'i Rasul, following the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Without following Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one cannot reach to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He cannot gain the nearness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Without following the Sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one cannot become the beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unless he follows the Sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Hadith of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, हमारे हज़रत मौलाना यूसुफ मुताला रहमतुल्लाह अलैह उन्होंने किताब लिखा इताअत रसूल, उनके अंदर उस किताब को उन्होंने हदीस फमन रगीब अन सुन्नती फलैस मिन्नी को नकल किया उन्होंने, और फिर उसके ऊपर उन्होंने कलाम किया, वो सुनिए। आपसे फरमाया कि फमन रगीब अन सुन्नती, जो मेरी सुन्नत से एराज करे मुंह फेरे, the one who turns his face away from my sunnah. You know, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in a hadith, فَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي, he who turns his face away from my sunnah, then he does not belong to me. Our Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Mutala rahmatullah alayhi, who passed away in Canada and who was the founder of Darul Bari, he passed away, he was Shaykh al-Hadith. He explains this hadith. He is saying this hadith, and the explanation of this hadith, he is saying clearly that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam clearly is saying the one who deliberately turns his face from the Sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he does not belong to me, which means, he does not belong to the Muslim community. No matter, he calls himself, he's a Muslim. He writes, he should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his iman and his Islam is in danger. How many Sunnah Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a day and a night we turn our face away from them? As I was saying, today in our society to talk about and to talk against the traditions and the customs which are taking place in our society are so much dominant that, if somebody is a fornicator, there's a possibility, if you explain him, he will give up. If somebody is alcoholic, there's a possibility he may give up. But there's one thing, we see, it seems that we are not ready to give up, and that is our customs, our traditions taking place in our society. If somebody speaks against them, we become, his enemy. We say, who is he to tell us? This has been coming, through from our, from our forefathers, and today he's telling us, that we should not be doing this. My young brothers, if we desire to come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if our desire to become close to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we have to give up fornication. We have to give up the alcohol, but as well as we have to give the traditions, the customs which are taking in our society, which are taking place in our society, we have to give up. We have to speak against it. If somebody speaks against him, support him. Be with him, inshallah. And if even the people don't listen to you, you will get the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a hadith of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If somebody revives the Sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which people had forgotten and people have discarded, he will get the reward of 100 martyrs. He will get the reward of 100 martyrs. But today, our mentality is, he should speak, why should I speak? If I speak, I will become a target. Nobody wants to become a target. Everybody wants to push one another forward, and you speak, I'm going to speak, it's a matter of my family, it's a matter of my friends, it's a matter of my neighbors. If I speak, they will become angry with me, they will be upset with me that I spoke against, something was taking place in the society and which may hurt them. But young brothers, if we speak against the tradition which is taking place, if we speak against the custom which is taking place, and we feel that this will hurt our family members because they are involved in it, what about the heart of Prophet ﷺ in his grave? When the report every day, morning and night, our report is presented to Prophet ﷺ in his grave. Just imagine, when the report is being presented to him, that we are following our traditions and we are following our customs and we have given up we have forgotten his sunnah. So you tell me how much we are causing pain to our Prophet ﷺ in the grave. We have a concern of our family members, we have a concern for them. But what about our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who will be on the day of judgment, who will be interceding for us? It will be Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to whom we will be turning to. And if on that day, if he says to you, go away, because after me, when the angels going to come and they say, our Prophet he will be standing on the fountain, and he will be presenting the water to the people, his followers, and some will come and the angels will become barrier between him and those people. He will say, let them come, they are thirsty. They will say, no, you don't know what happened after your death. These people were following the customs and they have forgotten your sunnah. Then he will say, may they be destroyed, who changed my way and who have forgotten my sunnah, my deen, and they've chosen their own way and they were following their own ways. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, it is the khaish and the tamanna of and it's the wish of everyone that he wants to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is also a nature of a human being. When he loves someone, then in return he wants him to love him as well. When we love Allah, we want Allah to love us. We want to become beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has given us a method that if you want Allah to love you, if you want to become beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is saying that you have to do one thing, that is fattabi'uni. You have to follow my prophet. In return, you will become my beloved. Number two, the award you will gain, it will be that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive your old sins. Allah will forgive your sins. In duration while you are following the Rasulullah, what will happen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the sins which are occurring, all the sins you are committing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the barakah of the sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he will forgive them. He will forgive the sins. Bishr ibn Haris rahmatullahi, once he saw a dream. In the dream he sees Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, oh Bishr, do you know why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you preference over your friends? He said, no, I don't know. He said, what? He said, the reason is you follow my sunnah. He said, you follow my sunnah. Number one, you have love for my Ahl Bayt, my family members, and you love my companions. There are some people, they love the Ahl Bayt, but they criticize the Sahaba Kiram. They are not on haqq. If there are people who love the Sahaba and they don't love the Ahl Bayt, they are not on haqq. If you want to be on haqq, you have to love the Sahaba Kiram and you have to love Ahl Bayt. This is the moderate way. You have to love the both of them. If you leave one of them and you choose one of them, then you're not on haqq. And they say, in order to know someone is on haqq or not, you see whether he loves the Sahaba Kiram and Ahl Bayt or not. If he loves both of them, he is on haqq, he is on truth. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, you have gained the preference over your friends because you follow my sunnah. Abdullah bin Mubarak, he was the imam of his time, he was the pious of his time. After his death, somebody said to him, how did Allah treat you? You know what he said? He said, I have been kept for 22 years standing, and Allah asked me, why on one occasion you showed respect to an innovator, a bid'ati? Why did you show respect to him who was introducing innovation in the society? Or Abdullah, you showed him respect. Now you answered me back. Give me the answer. Why did you show him the respect? One who went against the sunnah of my Prophet, and he chose his own way, he introduced his own way, he invented, the innovations, and you showed him respect. Now you answer me. Who is this? Abdullah bin Mubarak. And we in our society, day and night, we are giving up the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are looking down to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He who looks down to one etiquette of anything, there is etiquette of a masjid. When you come to the masjid, you should give salam. If people are not engaged in the ibadat, you should give salam. When you come, you remain silent in the masjid. This is the adab of the masjid. But they say, if somebody looks down to the adab, to etiquette, what happens? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deprives him from the preferable act. Any act that is preferable, if you do it, you get a swab. If you don't do it, you won't get a swab. You won't be blamed. You won't be blamed. He who looks down to an etiquette, he is deprived of a mustahab. And he who looks down to a mustahab, he is deprived from a sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he who looks down to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then he is deprived from the obligatory acts. And then he says, then they say, and he who looks down to the obligatory acts, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not grant him his nearness. He cannot gain the ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He cannot gain the nearness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he very in the beginning, he looked down to one etiquette of Islam. And because of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deprived him becoming very close to him. There's a hadith of Abdullah bin Mas'ud used to say, if you wish, listen to this carefully and then I will conclude my talk. If you wish to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment as a Muslim and as a believer, then you should offer your 5 daily prayers in a place wherein the azan is given. Meaning you should offer them in the masjid. And then he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has appointed some ways for his prophet. And to offer the 5 daily prayers in the masjid is one of those guidance which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he said, listen, he said, if you want to avoid the deviation, if you want to avoid falling into deviation, then you should go into the masjid and offer your daily 5 prayers. If you don't have any valid excuse, then you should come to the masjid. But if you have a valid excuse to stay home, like somebody's in hospital, he can't make to masjid, somebody's very ill, he can't make to masjid, then that's fine. But if you have no reason to stay home, then you stay home and you offer your prayers. As Abdullah bin Mas'ud and who says, then there is a chance that you will fall into deviation. So my young brothers, the conclusion of the talk, the summary talk is, if we desire to come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is, and the only way we can gain the closeness of Allah is that we follow the Sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We give up all the traditions, we give up all the rasm wa riwaj, which is taking place in the society. If the Imam of any masjid speaks against these traditions, support him, help